You announce every plan, celebrate every small step, and share every breakthrough the moment it happens. Deep down, you know this constant need to be seen and validated is slowly draining the very power you need to actually succeed. You feel it, don't you? That subtle exhaustion that comes from performing your progress instead of simply progressing. I am Solomon, and I built the greatest fortune in human history not by announcing my moves, but by mastering the art of sacred silence. While others talked, I worked. While others sought applause for their intentions, I channeled every ounce of energy into execution. The result was not just wealth, but a legacy that has endured for millennia. You live in a world that mistakes noise for progress, where everyone believes they must document their journey before they've even taken the first real step. But I'm here to tell you something that will fundamentally shift how you approach your path to prosperity. The most powerful force in building true wealth is not what you say, but what you keep to yourself. This is not about hiding from fear. This is about wielding silence as the ultimate strategic weapon. When you stop bleeding your energy through constant explanation and validation seeking, something profound happens. Your focus becomes laser sharp. Your energy becomes concentrated. Your progress becomes unstoppable. Today, you will learn why the truly prosperous never announce their moves until victory is already secured. You will discover how silence creates an invisible shield around your ambitions, protecting them from the doubts, distractions, and sabotage of a world that secretly wants to see you fail. Most importantly, you will understand how to transform from someone who talks about success into someone who simply becomes successful. If you're ready to stop performing your progress and start actually achieving it, if you're prepared to embrace the discipline of the wise and work in the shadows until your results demand the spotlight, then subscribe now. Because what I'm about to reveal will not just change how you build wealth, it will change who you are. Number 1, the principle of silent protection. You tell everyone about your new business idea before you've even written the business plan. You share your investment strategy with friends who have never invested a dollar. You announce your fitness goals to people who gave up on their own bodies years ago. And then you wonder why your enthusiasm fades, why your clarity becomes confusion, why your certainty transforms into doubt. I see you, and I recognize the pattern because I have witnessed it for thousands of years. Every time you speak your dreams before they are ready, you are committing a form of spiritual theft against yourself. You are taking the sacred energy that should fuel your progress and scattering it into the wind. You are picking fruit that has not yet ripened and wonder why it tastes bitter in your mouth. I am Solomon, and I learned this truth not through books, but through the building of an empire that lasted generations. The principle of silent protection is not about secrecy born from fear. It is about understanding that your dreams, your goals, your visions are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your mind. And like any seed, they need darkness, silence, and protection to grow. When a farmer plants a seed, does he immediately dig it up to show his neighbors? Does he invite the entire village to examine the tiny sprout before its roots have taken hold? Of course not. He understands that exposure too early means death. He waters it in silence, tends it in solitude, and protects it from those who would trample it before it becomes strong. Your dreams require the same protection. When you reveal a plan too early, you are like a farmer showing his neighbors an empty field and asking them to judge the harvest. Some will tell you the soil is wrong. Others will say the season is not right. Still others will plant doubt where you had planted hope. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to see your vision through their eyes instead of your own. I remember the day I decided to build the temple. It was not a decision I announced at the morning court. It was not a plan I shared with my advisors in the first meeting. It was a vision that I held in the silent chamber of my heart for months, nurturing it, expanding it, understanding every stone before the first foundation was laid. Had I spoken too early, Had I sought approval before I had received divine clarity, the greatest temple in history would have become a committee decision, diluted by the fears and limitations of others. Silence preserves mental and spiritual energy in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Every word you speak about your plans is energy that could have been used to execute them. Every explanation you give is power transferred from your inner world to the external world. Every validation you seek is a small surrender of the authority you need to succeed. Think of your mind as a vessel filled with the water of intention. Each time you talk about your goals prematurely, you are pouring some of that water out. Each time you explain your vision to someone who did not ask, you are spilling more. Soon, you realize the vessel is half empty, and you wonder why you no longer feel the power you once felt. You wonder why the vision seems dimmer, why the motivation feels forced, why what once excited you now exhausts you. This is not about becoming secretive or antisocial. This is about recognizing that your inner world is your sanctuary, and like any sanctuary, it requires protection. When you talk too much about what you are building, you are inviting others into your sanctuary before you have prepared it to receive them. You are asking them to judge the architecture before you have completed the blueprint. The truly wealthy understand this principle intuitively. They do not announce their investments until they have already profited. They do not reveal their strategies until they have already succeeded. They do not seek approval for their decisions until the results have already proven their wisdom. This is not arrogance. This is protection of the most valuable resource they possess, their focused intention. I have watched countless men and women destroy their own potential by speaking too soon. They had the vision, they had the energy, they had the opportunity, but they could not resist the temptation to share, to explain, to seek validation. And with each word, they transferred power from themselves to others. With each explanation, they gave away pieces of their certainty. With each request for opinion, they invited confusion into their clarity. Your dreams are not democratic decisions. Your goals are not group projects. Your vision is not a committee meeting. They are sacred territories that belong to you alone, and you are their guardian. When you speak too early, you are failing in your duty as guardian. You are opening the gates to those who have no business being there. The principle of silent protection teaches us that the most powerful force in creation is not the word spoken, but the word held in perfect silence until the moment of manifestation. When you learn to hold your dreams in this sacred silence, something extraordinary happens. They grow stronger, not weaker. They become clearer, not cloudier. They develop roots so deep that no external opinion can uproot them. This is the first law of building lasting wealth and success. Protect your vision as you would protect your most precious treasure. Speak only when speaking serves the goal, not when it serves the ego. Hold your dreams in the sanctuary of silence until they become so strong, so clear, so undeniable that when you finally do speak, the world has no choice but to listen. Number 2, what happens when you stay silent? Right now, at this very moment, you are surrounded by voices. The voice of your coworker telling you why your business idea won't work. The voice of your family asking when you'll get serious about your finances. The voice of social media showing you everyone else's highlight reels. The voice of doubt masquerading as wisdom. The voice of fear disguised as practical advice. And in all this noise, you have forgotten the most important voice of all. The voice of your own inner knowing. When you choose silence, when you step back from the need to explain and justify and seek approval, something profound begins to happen. The external voices start to fade, and for the first time in perhaps years, you begin to hear yourself think. You begin to hear the whispers of wisdom that have been trying to reach you through all the noise. This is not the silence of the defeated. This is not the quiet of those who have given up. This is the silence of the hunter who knows that the slightest sound will scare away the prey. This is the silence of the wise who understand that in a world of endless chatter, The one who listens holds all the power. I learned this lesson in the early years of my reign, when every decision I made was questioned, every choice was debated, every move was scrutinized by advisors who meant well but saw only fragments of the larger picture. I realized that if I continued to engage with every opinion, to address every concern, to explain every strategy, I would spend all my time talking and none of my time ruling. So I chose silence, and in that silence, I discovered something that changed everything. You listen more, observe more, understand more. When you are not busy defending your position, you can actually see the battlefield. When you are not explaining your strategy, you can focus on executing it. When you are not seeking approval, you can trust your own judgment. The world reveals its secrets only to those who have learned to be still enough to notice them. I remember sitting in my palace gardens, watching the merchants in the marketplace below. Those who talked the most sold the least. Those who made the most noise attracted the most trouble. But there was one merchant, an old man who spoke rarely but watched everything. He saw which goods were in demand before others noticed. He understood the rhythms of supply and demand because he was not distracted by the need to be heard. By the end of each day, his purse was heavier than those who had spent their energy on words instead of observation. This is the power of strategic silence. Your steps become guided by vision, not by others' reactions. When you are constantly explaining your plans, your actions become reactions to their responses. You find yourself modifying your strategy not because it needs modification, but because someone questioned it. You find yourself doubting your decisions not because they are wrong, but because someone else would have made different ones. But when you embrace silence, your actions flow from your inner compass, not from the magnetic pull of external opinions. You move with the certainty of someone who has done their homework in solitude, who has wrestled with the questions in private, who has made peace with their choices before the world even knows they exist. You avoid the advice that diverts you from your focus. And oh, how abundant that advice is. Everyone has an opinion about what you should do with your life, your money, your time. Most of this advice comes from people who have never achieved what you are trying to achieve, who have never walked the path you are walking, who project their own limitations onto your possibilities. When you stay silent about your plans, you automatically filter out the noise. You are no longer obligated to consider every suggestion, to weigh every opinion, to defend every choice. You can select your counsel carefully, seeking wisdom only from those who have achieved what you seek to achieve, who understand the territory you are trying to navigate. I think of the young king who sought my counsel about expanding his kingdom. He had already announced his plans to his entire court, and by the time he came to me, he was paralyzed by conflicting advice. The military leaders wanted war. The merchants wanted trade agreements. The religious leaders wanted diplomatic marriages. Each faction pulled him in a different direction, and his original vision had been diluted beyond recognition. I told him what I am telling you now. In silence, you find clarity. In solitude, you find strength. When you stop seeking everyone's approval, you can start trusting your own wisdom. The transformation that occurs when you embrace this silence is not immediate, but it is profound. Gradually, you notice that your mind becomes clearer, your intuition becomes sharper. Your ability to see opportunities that others miss becomes enhanced. This is because you are no longer spending your mental energy on external validation. You are investing it in internal cultivation. You begin to see patterns that those caught up in the noise cannot see. You understand timing in ways that elude those who are always reacting to the latest trend, the latest opinion, the latest fear. You develop what I call sovereign judgment, the ability to make decisions based on your own deep understanding rather than on the shifting sands of popular opinion. This silence also teaches you the art of strategic patience. When you are not constantly announcing your moves, you can take the time to make them correctly. You can wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right alignment of circumstances. Those who are always talking are always rushing, because they have created external pressure to produce results quickly. But those who work in silence can allow their plans to ripen naturally. The wealthy understand this principle deeply. They do not reveal their investment strategies until after they have worked. They do not announce their business plans until the foundation has been laid. They know that the market rewards execution, not explanation. They know that opportunities often disappear when too many people know about them. In this silence, you also discover something else: the incredible power of your own mind when it is not constantly interrupted by the need to communicate with others. Your thoughts become deeper, your insights become clearer, your solutions become more elegant. You realize that many of the problems you thought required external input actually resolve themselves when you give them the space of contemplative silence. This is the secret the truly successful have always known. In a world that rewards the loudest voice, the greatest power belongs to the one who has learned to listen. In a world that celebrates constant communication, the greatest advantage belongs to the one who has mastered strategic silence. Number 3, why the world shouldn't know everything. You believe in the goodness of people. You want to share your excitement, your dreams, your breakthroughs. You assume that others will celebrate your success with the same joy you feel. And this beautiful naivety, this generous spirit, this open heart is exactly what makes you vulnerable to forces you don't yet understand. Let me tell you a truth that will disturb you, but will also liberate you. Not everyone wants to see you win. Not everyone who smiles when you share your plans is genuinely hoping for your success. Not everyone who offers advice has your best interests at heart. This is not cynicism. This is wisdom earned through millennia of observing human nature in all its complexity. The world is not malicious, but it is competitive. The world is not evil, but it is envious. The world is not your enemy, but neither is it your friend. It is a neutral force that responds to power, success, and achievement, but it does not necessarily want to see those qualities in you. Understanding this changes everything about how you navigate your journey to prosperity. When you announce your plans too early, you activate what I call the interference mechanism in others. Some will try to rush or sabotage what you are building, not out of deliberate malice, but out of unconscious programming that sees your potential success as their potential diminishment. In their minds, there is only so much success to go around, and your rise somehow threatens their position. I witnessed this pattern countless times during my reign. When word spread about a new project, a new alliance, a new trade route, suddenly everyone became an expert. Advisors who had never managed their own households offered counsel on running kingdoms. Merchants who had never traveled beyond the next valley warned about the dangers of distant trade. Friends who had never built anything substantial questioned the foundation of every plan. This is not conscious sabotage in most cases. It is the unconscious reaction of minds that have accepted limitation as natural and view ambition as suspicious. When you share your dreams with such people, you invite their limitations into your possibility. You ask them to judge your vision through the lens of their own experience, and their experience is often one of settling for less than they truly wanted. Others will project their fears onto you, and this is perhaps the most dangerous form of interference. They will take their own failed attempts, their own abandoned dreams, their own moments of defeat, and present them to you as universal truths. They will tell you that what you are attempting is impossible because they never figured out how to make it possible. They will warn you about risks they never learned to manage, obstacles they never learned to overcome, challenges they never had the courage to face. I remember a merchant who came to my court, excited about a new trade route he had discovered. Instead of keeping his discovery to himself and profiting from it quietly, he shared it with his entire guild, seeking their blessing and support. Within weeks, 3 other merchants had established themselves on the same route. Within months, the prices had been driven down by competition. Within a year, the route was no longer profitable for anyone. His generosity in sharing his opportunity had destroyed the opportunity itself. This is the harsh mathematics of opportunity. Every person who knows about it increases the competition for it. Every mind that analyzes it finds new ways to doubt it. Every voice that discusses it adds another layer of complexity to what might have been elegantly simple. But the interference comes in subtler forms as well. Some people will encourage you to move faster than you should, not because they believe in your capability, but because they want to see you fail quickly. They prefer spectacular failure to gradual success, because failure confirms their worldview that ambitious dreams are foolish. They would rather see you crash than see you succeed, because your success would force them to confront their own lack of action. Others will try to slow you down, offering endless reasons why you should wait, why you should reconsider, why you should seek more opinions, gather more data, consider more options. They disguise their own inaction as prudence and try to infect you with their paralysis. They have convinced themselves that analysis is action, that planning is progress, that preparation is achievement. Then there are those who will try to redirect your energy toward their own agendas. They will listen to your plans and immediately see ways to benefit themselves. They will offer partnerships that dilute your vision, collaborations that compromise your control, opportunities that serve their interests more than yours. They become experts at making their desires seem aligned with your goals. The most dangerous are those who will steal your ideas entirely. In a world where information moves at the speed of light, where execution can be outsourced and scaled rapidly, the person with the idea is not always the person who profits from it. When you share your innovations too early, you give others the opportunity to implement them faster, better, or with more resources than you currently possess. I learned to distinguish between those who could help and those who could harm by watching their reactions to others' success. Those who celebrated the achievements of others, who spoke with genuine admiration about what others had built, who seemed energized rather than diminished by witnessing greatness, these were safe repositories for confidence. But those who always found reasons to diminish others' accomplishments, who spoke with subtle resentment about what others had achieved, who seemed to find comfort only in others' failures, these were the ones from whom my plans needed protection. This does not mean you should become paranoid or suspicious of everyone. It means you should become strategic about information sharing. It means you should understand that your dreams are precious resources that require careful stewardship. It means you should recognize that not every person deserves access to your inner world. The wealthy have always understood this principle. They do not share their investment strategies at dinner parties. They do not reveal their business plans to casual acquaintances. They do not seek validation from those who have never built what they are trying to build. They understand that information is power, and power shared carelessly is power lost. Your success is not a democracy where everyone gets a vote. Your dreams are not public property where everyone has rights. Your vision is not a community project where everyone's opinion matters equally. They are your sacred territory, and you are their guardian. When you protect your plans from premature exposure, you protect them from premature death. You allow them to develop in the perfect environment of your own focused intention. You give them the chance to become so strong, so clear, so well developed that when they finally encounter the world, they are ready for whatever resistance they might face. This is not about secrecy for its own sake. This is about strategic wisdom that recognizes the difference between those who can help your dreams flourish and those who will cause them to wither. Learning to make this distinction is one of the most valuable skills you will ever develop. Number 4, silence as a practice of wisdom. You have been conditioned to believe that silence equals inaction, that if you are not talking about your progress, you are not making any progress. You have been taught that visibility equals validity, that if others cannot see your work, it does not count. This conditioning has turned you into a performer of your own life, instead of the author of your own success. But I want you to understand something that will revolutionize how you approach achievement. Silence is not the absence of action. Silence is concentrated action. Silence is not hiding from the world. Silence is preparing to command the world's attention when the moment is right. The practice of wisdom begins with understanding that the most powerful creation happens in darkness. The seed grows underground before it breaks through the soil. The child develops in the womb before entering the world. The masterpiece takes shape in the artist's studio before it hangs in the gallery. The greatest achievements in history were built in silence long before they were revealed in glory. This is why I say, work in secret, surprise with structure. When you finally reveal what you have been building, it should be so complete, so undeniable, so magnificent that the world has no choice but to acknowledge your mastery. Do not show them the process, show them the result. I did not spend my reign announcing every decision before I made it, explaining every strategy before I implemented it, seeking approval for every innovation before I introduced it. I worked in the silence of my own counsel. I built in the privacy of my own vision, and I revealed my works only when they were ready to stand against any criticism, any doubt, any opposition. The temple was not built by committee. It was not designed by popular opinion. It was not constructed through consensus. It was conceived in the silence of divine inspiration, planned in the solitude of contemplation, and executed with the focused power of unwavering intention. When the world finally saw it, they did not see the months of planning, the years of preparation, the countless decisions made in private. They saw only the magnificent result, and they had no choice but to marvel. This is the power of working in secret. When you build something in silence, you have the freedom to experiment, to fail, to adjust, to perfect without the pressure of external judgment. You can take the time necessary to get it right, because you are not performing for an audience that expects constant progress reports. The wise stay silent not out of fear but out of self-control. This distinction is crucial. Fear-based silence is weakness disguised as caution. It comes from doubt about your abilities, uncertainty about your worthiness, anxiety about others' opinions. This kind of silence serves no one and achieves nothing. But wisdom-based silence is power in its purest form. It comes from complete confidence in your vision, absolute trust in your process, and strategic understanding of timing. This silence is not about hiding. It is about focusing every ounce of your energy on execution instead of explanation. I have seen men destroy their own potential by talking too much, and I have seen others fulfill their destiny by saying too little. The difference is not in their capabilities, not in their opportunities, not in their resources. The difference is in their understanding of where their power comes from and how it should be used. Your power comes from your focused intention, not from others' validation of that intention. Your strength comes from your clear vision, not from others' appreciation of that vision. Your success comes from your consistent action, not from others' acknowledgement of that action. When you understand this deeply, you naturally become more silent because you realize that every word spent on explanation is energy stolen from execution. The practice of wise silence teaches you to become comfortable with being misunderstood temporarily in order to be undeniable permanently. While others are busy explaining their potential, you are busy realizing yours. While others are seeking approval for their plans, you are implementing those plans. While others are building consensus around their ideas, you are building the actual manifestation of those ideas. This requires tremendous self-discipline because the urge to share, to explain, to seek validation is deeply ingrained in most people. You have been trained to believe that if you are not communicating your progress, you are not making progress. You have been conditioned to think that if others are not aware of your efforts, those efforts do not matter. But the truly successful understand that the opposite is true. The most meaningful progress often happens in complete obscurity. The most important work often receives no immediate recognition. The most valuable achievements often develop in total silence until they are ready to change everything. This silence also protects you from the emotional roller coaster of external feedback. When you share your progress prematurely, you become subject to the moods, opinions, and reactions of others. One day someone praises your idea and you feel invincible. The next day someone questions your approach and you doubt everything. Your emotional state becomes dependent on external validation instead of internal certainty. But when you work in silence, your emotional state is governed by your own standards, your own progress, your own satisfaction with the work. You develop what I call sovereign confidence, the ability to know your own worth independent of others' recognition of it. This is perhaps the most valuable psychological asset you can develop. The practice of silence also teaches you to distinguish between what needs to be communicated and what needs to be demonstrated. Most people try to communicate their way to success. They believe that if they can just explain their vision clearly enough, articulate their strategy eloquently enough, present their plans persuasively enough, success will follow. But the wise understand that demonstration is more powerful than communication. They know that one result is worth 1,000 explanations. They know that the market responds to value delivered, not value promised. They know that respect is earned through achievement, not through articulation. This is why the greatest builders in history were often people of few words. They let their work speak for them. They allowed their results to be their representatives. They understood that in a world full of talkers, the ones who actually build hold all the real power. When you embrace silence as a practice of wisdom, you join an ancient tradition of those who understood that true power whispers while weakness shouts. You align yourself with the forces that create lasting change rather than temporary attention. You become someone whose silence carries more weight than others' speeches. This is not about becoming antisocial or secretive. This is about becoming strategic with your most precious resource, your focused intention. This is about understanding that every moment spent explaining could be a moment spent executing. This is about realizing that the world is waiting to see what you will build, not to hear what you plan to build. Number 5, how to apply this principle in your routine. Now that you understand the power of strategic silence, you face the practical question. How do you implement this wisdom in a world that demands constant sharing, immediate updates, and perpetual communication? How do you maintain this protective silence while still functioning in a society built on transparency and connection? The answer lies not in complete isolation, but in intelligent selectivity. You must learn to distinguish between communication that serves your goals and communication that serves your ego. You must develop the skill of strategic disclosure, sharing information only with those who can help you achieve what you seek to achieve. Only share goals with those who can help and no one else. This simple rule will transform your entire approach to communication. Before you speak about any plan, any dream, any goal, ask yourself one crucial question. Can this person actually help me achieve what I am trying to achieve? Not will they be supportive, not will they understand, not will they be interested, but can they actually help? If the answer is no, then sharing your plans with them serves only your need for validation, not your need for achievement. And validation, while emotionally satisfying in the moment, is ultimately a distraction from the real work that needs to be done. I learned this lesson early in my reign when I realized that my court was full of people who had opinions about everything but expertise in nothing. They could discuss any topic, analyze any situation, offer advice on any decision. But when it came to actual implementation, actual results, actual achievement, they were nowhere to be found. I began to distinguish between advisors and spectators, between those who could contribute to my success and those who could only comment on it. The people who can actually help you fall into specific categories. They have either achieved what you are trying to achieve, or they possess specific skills, resources, or connections that directly serve your objective. They have skin in the game, not just opinions about the game. They understand the territory you are navigating because they have navigated it themselves. Your financial advisor who has built wealth can help you build wealth. Your mentor who has started businesses can help you start a business. Your partner who shares your vision can help you realize your vision. But your colleague who has never invested can only offer uninformed opinions about investing. Your friend who has never been an entrepreneur can only share fears and assumptions about entrepreneurship. This does not mean these people are not valuable in your life. It means they are not valuable for this specific purpose. Learn to compartmentalize your relationships based on what each person can actually contribute to your various goals and objectives. Don't post what hasn't yet been solidified. In our age of social media, this principle becomes especially challenging, but also especially important. The urge to share every insight, every step, every small victory is almost irresistible. But remember that every post is energy that could have been invested in progress instead of performance. Before you share anything about your journey, ask yourself, is this sharing going to help me achieve my goal, or is it just going to make me feel good temporarily? Is this post going to attract the right kind of help and attention, or is it just going to satisfy my need for validation? I watch people announce their intentions to start businesses before they have written business plans, declare their fitness goals before they have established routines, share their investment strategies before they have achieved any returns. This premature sharing creates external pressure to produce results quickly, before the foundation has been properly laid. Instead, post your results, not your intentions. Share your achievements, not your aspirations. Show what you have built, not what you plan to build. Let your social media presence reflect your actual progress, not your hoped-for progress. Protect the seed until it becomes a tree. This metaphor captures the essence of strategic silence perfectly. A seed is vulnerable. It can be destroyed by too much attention, too much handling, too many opinions about how it should grow. But a tree is strong. It can withstand wind, weather, and criticism. It provides shade and shelter. It speaks for itself through its very existence. Your dreams, your plans, your goals are seeds. They need the protection of silence, the nourishment of focused attention, the consistent care of disciplined action. They need to be sheltered from the harsh winds of premature criticism and the trampling feet of well-meaning advice. But once they have grown strong enough, once they have developed deep roots and sturdy trunks, they can face the world. Once your business is profitable, you can talk about your business strategy. Once your investment has generated returns, you can share your investment philosophy. Once your fitness transformation is complete, you can inspire others with your journey. The practical application of this principle requires you to develop new habits around communication. Instead of sharing your plans immediately when you feel excited about them, sit with that excitement privately. Channel that energy into action instead of words. Use the enthusiasm you feel to fuel your efforts, not to fuel your social media posts. Create what I call a success circle, a small group of people who meet your criteria for helpful counsel. These might be mentors who have achieved what you want to achieve, partners who share your vision, advisors who possess relevant expertise. Share your plans with this circle for feedback, guidance, and support. But keep your plans away from the larger world until they are ready to stand on their own. Learn to be comfortable with being misunderstood temporarily. When people ask what you are working on, learn to give general answers that protect the specific details. You can say you are exploring business opportunities without revealing your specific business plan. You can say you are focusing on health and fitness without detailing your exact regimen. You can say you are investing in your future without disclosing your investment strategy. This is not about being secretive or mysterious. This is about being strategic with information that could either help or harm your progress. You are not obligated to satisfy everyone's curiosity about your life, especially when that curiosity serves their entertainment more than your advancement. Also, develop the discipline to work consistently without external acknowledgement. This is perhaps the hardest part for most people because we have been conditioned to expect praise for effort, recognition for progress, validation for every step forward. But the most valuable work often happens in complete obscurity, with no audience, no applause, no external validation. Learn to find satisfaction in the work itself, in the progress you can measure privately, in the small victories that no one else sees. Develop your own internal scorecard that measures what really matters. Actual progress toward your actual goals, not others' perception of that progress. Remember that silence is not permanent. There will come a time to speak, a time to share, a time to teach others what you have learned. But that time comes after the achievement, not before it. That time comes when you have something worth sharing, not just something you hope will be worth sharing. Number 6, the right time to speak. There comes a moment in every great achievement when silence transforms into revelation, when the hidden work emerges into the light, when the secret becomes the triumph that everyone can see. This moment is not arbitrary. It is not determined by your impatience or your excitement. It is determined by the ripeness of the fruit, the completion of the structure, the undeniable reality of what you have built. You will know this moment has arrived not by the calendar, but by the certainty, not by external pressure, but by internal completion. Not because others are asking questions, but because you have created answers so powerful that they demand to be shared. When the fruit is ripe, the world will see. This is a law as certain as gravity, as inevitable as sunrise. You cannot hide a city built on a hill. You cannot conceal a light that burns brightly. You cannot suppress a success that has reached maturity. The ripe fruit announces itself through its very existence. I think of the day the temple was completed. For years, I had worked in relative silence, planning, organizing, building. The people knew something great was being constructed, but they did not know the full scope, the complete vision, the ultimate magnificence of what was taking shape. Many questioned the expense, the time, the resources being devoted to this project. Some whispered that it was too ambitious, too costly, too grand for any earthly purpose. But when the temple was finished, when the last stone was placed and the final detail was perfected, there were no more questions. There was only awe. The work spoke with a voice louder than any explanation I could have given during the years of construction. The result silenced every doubt that words could never have answered. This is the power of perfect timing. When you speak too early, you must convince people of what you are building. When you speak at the right time, what you have built convinces them. The difference between these two moments is the difference between selling potential and delivering reality. It's not you who will speak. The result will speak for you. This might be the most liberating truth you ever understand. You do not need to become an eloquent salesperson of your own achievements. You do not need to master the art of self-promotion or develop skills in marketing yourself. The work, when it is complete and excellent, becomes its own advocate. Your profitable business speaks louder than your business plan ever could. Your healthy, strong body speaks more powerfully than your fitness goals ever did. Your growing investment portfolio speaks more convincingly than your investment strategy ever will. Results have a voice that no amount of explanation can match. When you understand this deeply, you stop worrying about how you will communicate your success to the world. You start focusing entirely on creating success worth communicating. You stop practicing speeches about what you plan to achieve and start practicing the skills that will help you achieve it. I have watched countless people exhaust themselves trying to convince others of their potential, trying to build belief in their vision, trying to generate enthusiasm for their plans. They become professional explainers instead of professional achievers. They develop great skill in talking about success, but never develop the skills necessary for creating success. But those who work in silence until the moment of revelation develop something far more valuable. They develop the ability to let their work do the talking. They become people whose results speak so loudly that their words are barely necessary. And those who doubted will have to applaud in silence. This is perhaps the sweetest aspect of strategic silence, followed by undeniable achievement. All those who questioned your vision, who criticized your approach, who warned against your plans, who predicted your failure, will find themselves in a position where they must acknowledge what you have accomplished. They will not apologize for their doubts, because doubt is natural and often wise. They will not admit they were wrong, because they were working with limited information. But they will have to recognize what you have achieved, and their recognition will be all the sweeter because it is earned rather than given, proven rather than assumed. I remember the merchants who warned me against establishing new trade routes, the advisors who questioned my economic policies, the neighboring kings who predicted the failure of my building projects. When the wealth of my kingdom became undeniable, when the success of my strategies became obvious, when the magnificence of my achievements became legendary, their silence spoke louder than their earlier criticisms. This is not about revenge or proving people wrong. This is about the natural order of achievement. When you build something real, something valuable, something undeniable, the world must acknowledge it regardless of what the world previously believed about your ability to build it. The right time to speak is when speaking adds value to what you have already created, not when it substitutes for creation. It is when you have something to teach because you have actually learned it, something to share because you have actually built it, something to offer because you have actually achieved it. You will recognize this moment because it feels different from the earlier urges to share. The early urges come from insecurity, from the need for validation, from the desire to be seen as working on something important. But the right moment comes from abundance, from the overflow of actual achievement, from having more value than you can contain privately. When this moment arrives, your communication will be different as well. It will not be about convincing anyone of anything. It will not be about defending your choices or explaining your methods. It will be about sharing what you have learned, offering what you have discovered, teaching what you have mastered. People will listen differently too. When you speak from achievement rather than aspiration, when you teach from experience rather than theory, when you share from abundance rather than need, your words carry weight that no amount of enthusiasm can match. You become someone worth listening to because you have become someone who has actually done what others only talk about doing. This is the ultimate goal of strategic silence, not to remain silent forever, but to speak from such a position of strength and achievement that your words have the power to transform others' lives. To move from being someone who talks about success to being someone who creates success, and can therefore guide others in creating it as well. The cycle then completes itself. Having achieved in silence, having spoken from strength, you return to silence as you work on your next great achievement, because now you understand that silence is not the enemy of success. Silence is the womb in which success is conceived, the sanctuary in which it develops, the protection under which it grows strong enough to change the world. This is the way of wisdom. This is the path of those who build rather than just talk about building. This is the secret of those who achieve rather than just dream about achieving. Work in silence, let results speak, and when the world is ready to listen, you will have something worth saying. Right now, somewhere in this world, there is a master craftsman working alone in his workshop. No cameras capture his movements. No audience witnesses his process. No social media documents his progress. There is only him, his tools, and the vision that burns quietly in his mind. Each stroke of his chisel is deliberate. Each decision is made in the sanctuary of his own judgment. Each hour of work adds another layer to something the world has never seen before. He does not announce his masterpiece before it exists. He does not seek approval for his technique. He does not explain his artistic choices to those who have never held a chisel. He simply works, day after day, in the profound silence that surrounds all true creation. This craftsman understands what you now understand, that the most powerful force in the universe is not the noise of ambition, but the quiet certainty of someone who knows exactly what they are building and refuses to be distracted from building it. He knows that every word spent explaining his vision is energy stolen from realizing his vision. You are that craftsman now. Your life is your workshop. Your dreams are your raw materials. Your focused intention is your chisel. And the silence you choose to embrace is not emptiness, but the sacred space where miracles take shape. The world will continue to celebrate those who speak loudly about their plans. But you now belong to an ancient brotherhood of those who understand that true power whispers while weakness shouts. You have learned that the deepest wells make no sound, yet they hold the purest water. If you feel this truth awakening something deep within you, if you recognize yourself in this ancient wisdom, then you are ready to walk this path with others who understand. Subscribe to continue this journey into the profound silence where all great fortunes are born. The masters have always worked this way, in silence, in certainty, in the unwavering faith that what is built with focused intention will stand long after the noise of the world has faded into forgotten echoes.